I want to speak to the woman in you, not the woman that you think you are, not the woman that you show the world, not the woman that you have been told you have to be, the woman deep in there, beyond the roles that you play, the jobs that you have, the obligations that you have, the woman in there. That's who I want to spend an hour with today. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time setting goals for ourselves to feel a sense of accomplishment or progress or pride. And my experience in working with women is that for most of us, what we're actually looking for is a feeling of coming home to our truth, of coming home in alignment. I'm that friend, right, that is dangerous to anything that is past its use by date in your life. Yeah, because I'll get you drunk on possibility and potential. And I'm the friend that encourages you to be an authentic, I like to call it sacred rebel. I want the sacred rebel in you to come out and play. So the conversations I have are not about being destructive. It's not about being irresponsible, but it is about giving yourself some space to really turn inward and have some really honest conversations with yourself, right? I want to tap into that knowing within you that you don't want to be doing everything in the same way that you have allowed yourself to believe that you have to do certain things. Yeah, it's that feeling that you don't just want to like break the mold or get out of the box, but you just want to be done with boxes altogether. And so I see my responsibility in being to support women in ways that allow them to understand what it means to be fully expressed so they can be the fullest expression of themselves and go out into the world and do what they're here to create and cause. That might be the family you raise. That could be the business you run, the gifts you share, whatever your magic is. As women, I think collectively we're beginning to release the idea that we have to hide what is unique or different about us, right? We know that we don't have to hide our gifts anymore in order to be safe or accepted. We're starting to disregard the norm and to be more comfortable with doing that. And so when we do this inner work sometimes and we commit to letting go of our old ways of thinking, old ways of being, it can sometimes be really challenging and really confronting to understand that the way that we have been thinking or what we have been believing might not be the only way. And not only that, it might not be the best way for us. And there can sometimes be, this period of grief around having to let go and mourn the loss of the idea you had for yourself, even if it wasn't working for you. And that's why often we need coaches, we need mentors, we need community around us to support us in doing this work. The truth of who we are is usually more bold and gritty and interesting than we would ever let anybody see when we're just introducing ourselves. If I jumped on here and said, tell me about yourself, we'd get that surface level, what's acceptable to share, what's common between us all, right? That's the way that, the majority of us communicate and operate within this society, right? But I want to hold space for you today to consider what path is right for you in your life. And it's not the path of safety and security that we've all been herded into thinking is the right way for us. But I just, for this next hour, want you to think about the path that leads you to alignment in whatever your highest calling might be. And as women, as mothers, as wives, as sisters, as friends, we are allowed to consider ourselves as being worthy. We are allowed to think of ourselves in this way. And I know it's so hard because even trying to have this conversation, we're all juggling so many things around us. But I'm here and I want to speak to the woman in you. I want to remind you that she is there within you. Inner work is deeply personal. And I want to break the illusion that we have to do it alone or that we have to keep it to ourselves. And similarly, it's my greatest pleasure to create a brave space for women to release the need to pretend like they have it all sorted out for themselves, that they even know where they're going, where they're headed, what they want, right? We don't have to pretend like it's all okay. So maybe you are a woman that feels like she speaks her truth some of the time, when it's safe or when it's convenient or when it feels easy. And my offering to you today, my bold offering to you today, is for you to remember, acknowledge, embody the fact that you are worthy of showing up in the pure, authentic rawness of who you are 100% of the time. And to explore in this life, in this time that you have right now, what would happen if you stopped pretending to not know what you want for yourself. I think a lot of us spend a lot of time pretending not to know. My work personally isn't done either, right? I've been living in my purpose for years. I quit a full-time job as a primary school teacher and went full-time into running businesses about 7 years ago. And since then, I have lived and breathed transformation and overflow. And yet, even I know there is a deeper path and purpose awakening for me. My work's not done either. I'm not here preaching to you. I'm shoulder to shoulder with you, saying there is work to be done as women in this world to claim our space, our time, our worthiness, all that has kind of been denied or repressed within us by our conditioning, our upbringing, our education, our society, the media, all of that. But the thing is, before we can, raise this energy within us and go out into the world and fulfill our purpose, what we need to do and what we get to do is return to ourselves, to come home to ourselves and recalibrate. We get to resolve the guilt and the shame and the unworthiness and the not enoughness. We get to do things to recharge our own vibration so that we are in alignment with the new ways of being that we know that we consciously choose to step into for ourselves. Your ego probably can't even comprehend what I'm talking about and is probably resisting this whole conversation and thinking, what is she on, right? And your body probably can't quite feel into it yet, but your soul knows. So today, this is an experience for you to be with that inner knowing that exists within you. Suspend logic, suspend what you have already decided for yourself. Connect to that inner knowing that exists within you. It is unseen, but it is there nonetheless. This is a space and a place to suspend your own resistance around what is possible for you and see where you are taken within yourself when you hold space for the woman in you, the divine being in you. Let's get to know today what is at the base of your being today. Get to know what's there within you and what your desires are. And when you become a woman that understands your own unique energetic expression, and you can learn to walk in it and breathe it and live it and not question yourself anymore, the motivation and inspiration and enoughness that you have spent your life searching for, it will begin to come through you as you. My desire is to support women in exploring their desires without a filter, to be witnessed in their own truth, free to express, rather than feeling like we have to shapeshift in a way so that we can belong to whatever group we find ourselves in. And so I'm here today to mirror back to you that you don't have to look the way you have been told to. You don't have to feel the way that you have been told to. And you can unthrottle yourself and speak your truth and let the world know what it is you stand for, what it is you're here to create and cause as a legacy on this earth. We have that opportunity in this life to be fully expressed, to be all that we are. A lot of the work that I do with women is to help them just see the conditioning, the beliefs, the actions that are holding them back so that they can rise into the highest peak of themselves. And in that place, set goals. In that place, create daily rituals for themselves to nurture that and foster that and breathe life into that and amplify that. And then bring that through in the way that they're going out into the world so that they can begin to live their purpose out loud, to put their desires into action.